Ooh. I'm driving like I got bees in my pants. Hello everyone, Tom here, and welcome to AMS2. Yes, we're back at Silverstone. We're back in the Porsche 992. Doing another quick 5-lap race against some AI, but this time, as you can see, in AMS2 and not in ACC. Last time, of course, we were running ACC here in this car in preparation for a league race I had earlier this week, which, thank you for asking, went quite well. I think I placed P3 as I inadvertently sent it up the inside, try to avoid some contact here. Can't do that in a league. Yeah, I think placed P3 in both sessions, which is pretty good for me in that group. I'm pretty middle of the road, so getting up into the podium positions is a nice accomplishment for me, and that practice we did seemed to have paid off a bit. We're getting lap times here down to the 159s, maybe a high 158 in qualifying, can't quite remember. But that's pretty good. It's still a couple seconds off the really fast guys out there, but that's kind of par for the course for little old Tom. So happy with 158. I have no idea what we're going to get for lap times here in AMS2. It's my first time running this car at this track, but I can tell you it immediately feels entirely different. Very, very different handling. And even through here, I can tell the gearing is different. So I know you can adjust the gear ratios here in AMS2. So I bet with some setup work, you could probably get this car to feel just like it does in ACC. But I haven't messed around with setups too much in AMS2. This title is really all about just the variety of content for me. I don't take many things too seriously here. I'm not doing any LFM racing or anything in AMS yet. I have tried a couple times, but there's been really low participation when I have tried to get into like an LMP2 race, or even some of the slower stuff. The Ginetta G40 I think would be great fun. I like that car. I think it's a great alternative to something like Spec Miata or something like that. But just really low participation on the West Coast in what I would think would be kind of prime time hours where something like iRacing has a lot of participation. So yeah, haven't done a lot of LFM, but as a single player title, I really like AMS2. I really, really like it. I think there's a lot of content here that's worth using, worth exploring. There's something genuinely for everyone. Every type of racing is on display, and just loads of tracks to try out, loads of cars, both modern and vintage. Lots of historic content available, and right out of the box, it's kind of the lazy man's content manager for a set of course that it's just all there, and a lot of it works really, really well. We could talk all day about the handling characteristics of these cars. Is it realistic? Is it not? Is it better or worse than other titles? Is it not? That's all going to be very, very subjective. But I think if you can enjoy it for what it is, it's really fun, and you get a lot for your money here. A whole lot. And I would get a lot better lap times if I wasn't rambling so much, but that's what you're here for. You're here for the rambling. Certainly not here for driving skill. I'm going to break a little earlier for these guys. I do love AMS2's AI. I think the AI drivers are implemented really, really excellently. We do have, you can see the one behind us actually taking a look up the inside there. Might actually go for it here. Had a pretty bad exit. He backed out. But they have really done a great job with the AI, I think. The fact is that they still make mistakes, but they're much more human-like. It doesn't feel like, oh, it's just a bug. They need to work that out. It's genuinely like this is where a human would make a mistake on this track. They would be overly aggressive up the inside and they would maybe spin you out, or they fight each other, which a lot of games do not seem to allow their AI to get into accidents, at least kind of not by design. Sometimes that happens by accident, but here you can tell that that's the intent. It is meant to feel like human opponents, as we have a nice little moment there. We keep it together. We keep it together. It's okay. Everyone's all right. But I love seeing the AI actually fight and take lines maybe they shouldn't. It gives you an opportunity to get back into the mix if you fall behind. And also sometimes they just straight up crash each other out. In a way, you would expect human drivers to crash each other out occasionally. And you can adjust those settings. It is nice that there are aggression and mistake settings. But it feels pretty natural. They still do some things that don't feel natural. And when it happens, you can tell it's kind of this uncanny valley thing. Everything feels just a slight bit off. But on the whole, really, really good implementation. And I mean, just look at this game. Just look at it. Sun going down. We're set to, I think, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Light is nice. Sun is low. Yeah, just look at this. This is great. Try not to squeeze our friend out too badly here. All the time you must leave this space. Might not have left of this space that time. Now, when the tires are cold in this car, it feels entirely different than an ACC. Very, very, very slidey. Whether or not that's true to life or not, I don't know. One of you can tell me in the comments, I'm sure. But now that they're turned on a bit, it feels much more planted. Much more planted. Still very different than ACC. I think you're kind of living with and managing the sliding a bit more in this than you do in ACC. You're not punished for sliding as much, unless you completely get out of shape like I was right there. But yeah, you can kind of keep the power on, or if you have some understeer, you can just keep the steering lock on, and somehow the car will keep going and keep going quickly. Now that is less of the case now that we have version 1.6, and I believe with the latest patch, latest incremental patch, all of the cars are now upgraded to the 1.6 physics. So everything feels, I think, the best it ever has, and very, very enjoyable place to be, AMS2. Very, very fun. But still different. Certainly still different. One area where it's quite different is actually the audio. I like ACC's audio. Some people absolutely hate it. I kind of gravitate towards it. I like the sounds of things rattling around in the cabin, and I like the sounds of gravel bouncing up from underneath the car. It is very, very immersive to me. I like it a lot. I've liked it since day one. I also like, specific to this 992, I like the engine sound in ACC a lot more. It's got that crazy whine. It just sounds like angry bees. Ooh. I'm driving like I got bees in my pants. I love the sound of this car in ACC. Here in AMS, a little less so. It is much more muted. I haven't listened to any onboards or anything from these cars in real life. Just from seat time in the game so far. Oh, got a friend there. Bye-bye. Just from seat time in the game so far, I really like the sound in ACC a bit more. Just sounds a little bit more chonky. Who doesn't want some good chonk? And we are on lap 5 already. This is a short race. Certainly not going last to first on this one. I think where did we start? Like 20th, and now we're 10th. So next time I'll just have less opponents and I'll look like driving God. But I like the chaos, and I like seeing what the AI have to do when they're all bunched up and they're fighting it out. Really a good time, and I think it makes for a lot of good moments. I just love like that, just seeing them door banging, and it's like they're really trying to win. They're not just trying to all take the exact same perfect line. And there we are. What did we do? We got a 2:05. That's a pretty lousy time around here. I think I mentioned it was getting down to 158, 159 in ACC. We'll have to see with a little bit more seat time here in AMS2. Are we going to be able to get down to 159? Maybe there'll be a follow-up video. But in case there isn't, I still appreciate you being here. Thanks for letting me play some games for you. Take care.